Hi, I was watching watching Hannity on TV. Don't ask me why, but he always occasionally has an interesting video on, and there was a history teacher, an LA history teacher, because apparently there's this big thing about LA teachers us getting behind this whole illegal immigration brouhaha that's developing, and he got up, and this is what he said. And when he talks about it was stolen from Mexico, he's talking about California. Um, he claims that it was stolen from Mexico, and then he rants on about imperialism and colonialism. And I sat there and I thought, hang on, who were the people who colonized Mexico? The last time I looked, when I looked on the TV, he didn't look like a indigenous person from Mexico. He didn't look like an indigenous person from South America. I wonder what his background is. Is it because he has maybe Spanish or Portuguese background? Maybe because, about 400 years ago, his ancestors came to South America, raped, pillaged, and ransacked the whole continent, bringing everything back to Europe and basically enslaving the indigenous people. Isn't that funny that this person gets up and talks about the evils of apparent American colonialism and about how evil it is that America stole California off Mexico? Historical facts aside, uh, and yet here we are, have a person ranting and raving on about so-called colonialism and imperialism, and he comes from a country whose existence is on even worse grounds than what America was founded. I mean, we only need to look at how the original colonizers of the South America treated these indigenous people of South America. So I find this the height of hypocrisy when we hear people like him, Hispanic people, getting up talking about the evils of imperialism, evils of colonialism, and yet, hang on, their existence is off the back of colonialism and imperialism. Because as far as I see, they don't look like indigenous South Americans. Maybe somebody could correct me, but when I saw this LA history teacher on TV, he did not look like or even remotely resemble an indigenous person from South America. So, like I said, another example of people throwing around the terms imperialism and colonialism whilst ignoring how their existence, how they came into existence. Need be reminded yet again that Spain and Portugal raped and pillaged their way across South America and enslaved the indigenous people of South America. So it's very rich when I hear the descendants of those imperialists, of those colonialists, getting up and speaking about the evils of imperialism and colonialism. It's hypocrisy, but of course, that never stops anybody from getting up, ranting and raving. What I thought was even more interesting, which, as much as I hate Hannity and as much as, he's much of a dickhead, McCain did actually point out something interesting. If this was, although it was like a ramsack, little group of nutcases, well, I'll guarantee you, if this was a group of Tea Party protesters, I can tell you that the mainstream media would have swarmed on them like a virus, like a cancer. I swear they would have swarmed on them like flies to dog shit. And you would have had every sort of claim and by the mainstream media, the racists, the bigots, they're a pack of teabaggers, blah 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 blah. And it's amazing, not a single thing has been done by the mainstream media regarding this protest. They always seem to be able to have the time and the resources to chase after, quite frankly, chase after the quote-unquote teabaggers, but when it comes to actually chasing after so-called freaky fringes whom they somehow have an affinity or a sympathy for, they apparently they don't have the resources to cover it. Apparently, we've got more important things to cover. So it's apparently important to cover things when they happen to be sitting on the right or they don't happen to agree with it. But when they do happen to agree with it, what they'll do is they'll just simply ignore it and say, "Oh no, that never happened." It's like I said, it's hypocrisy.